news of the week, Devon Tanton. What does he bring? What does he bring to the squad?
Hopefully, lots of quality. Another good player to the ranks. We've seen him a couple of times for their 23s. He's been out on a few loans over the years at the lower echelons of the pyramid. So he's done his groundwork, earned his stripes. To be fair, to earn a loan move like Chesterfield, they think very highly of him at Fulham. In training, he's looked very good, and he's another one to add to our hopeful selection headache going into tomorrow night.
What type of player is he? Is he? You know, when you talk about players in his position now, you kind of think, can he attack as well? First and foremost.
Yeah, I think fullbacks now, especially from the Premier League, that's the first thing they can all do. He seems a good defender as well, which is massively important because I think the gaffers highlighted last year we probably conceded more goals than we would have liked, and that's a team effort, by the way. So first and foremost, we're looking to be a good fullback defender if and when he was to play. But going forward, I think is one of his strengths, especially deliveries into the box.
As it is the transfer window, next, what might be the next signing in?
Well, I don't think there'll be many signings before tomorrow night, that's for sure. But then after that, we'll wait and see. Like I said the other night, I think at the minute we've got a good squad. We know that Jamie Grimes is probably going to be back training today. Will it be too quick to be thrown in tomorrow in the squad? We'll wait and see. But then you're looking at Palms, Madden and Sheckford as the 3. So suddenly it goes from 5 or 6 to 3, and then hopefully in a few weeks it goes to 2 or 1. So at the moment we're happy with the squad we've got, always looking to improve if possible, but I very much doubt anything before tomorrow night.
So, of the 3, we'll come back to transfers in a minute, but of the 3 injured lads you mentioned there, who might be the first back? And are any of them particularly, medium term?
Yeah, I think, listen, we've had some mixed news on Raheem in terms of, I think there's 2 options facing Raheem, operation or non-operation, both carrying certain risks and benefits, if that makes sense. So what Raheem decides to do, we'll fully support him on what decision he makes, but if it is an operation, obviously that'd be a good few months. Palmer's would definitely be a good few months. So the answer to your question, we're hoping Paddy Madden could be back training within sort of 3 or 4 weeks. Right.
When will the decision on Shackelford be made, if you like, and what's the best case scenario?
The best case scenario, it depends what side you listen to. There's a good argument for not having an operation and trust the rehab, or there's a good argument for having an operation and really dealing with the problem he's got. So, I think that'll be up to Raheem. The gaffer's very big on letting the players sort of, be in charge of their own destiny, so to speak, and it's their bodies. So either way, fingers crossed and touch wood, both at the same time. It's not a massive one, like a season one. But if he was to have an operation, that'd be a few months. But as I say, we'll leave that to Raheem. We only found out this news late yesterday, so we'll probably know more after the weekend.
You've had a look at Jamal Blackman on trial. What's the plan with him going forward?
The plan is, I think the gaffer's going to have a chat with the lad and us as staff today about what to do with him. Obviously, if we want to get him involved for the game against Swindon, we've got to do it quite quickly due to registration rules. I'm not keeping anything from you, but a decision has been made from both parties on what exactly is going to happen. He's done all right since he's been in. If he doesn't end up signing or he's not offered anything, then obviously we're going with Ryan Boot, which we did last year. I suppose people look at it with 7 subs. Is it a foolish move not to put a goalie on the bench with 7 subs? Hindsight's a great thing, but that's another thing. I think your probably interview's about 6 hours too short in terms of what's going to happen with Jamal, but since he's come in, he's been excellent for us.
So if there isn't an agreement, if say that it's decided that maybe something can't be done or he doesn't want to stay, etc., have you got irons in the fire, if not necessarily for the Swindon match, but the next league game or the Derby game?
Yeah, I know. I get what you're saying. I think it's one of them where obviously we want to win every game, starting with tomorrow night live on Sky. But especially the manager, is quite patient with what he does. There's a method to what he does and how he does it. And I think that to rush and force something ahead of a game where maybe a week or two you get the right person, whatever position they're in, and you play a little bit of a waiting game without going too long, there's a balance to that argument. That's probably the way we'll go this season. We waited a long time to get back in this league, and the last thing anyone needs to do now is make rash decisions.
Because the idea, and look, I appreciate this is going over all ground a little bit. The idea of bringing Tyra back, with perhaps or without Jamal Blackman, is that still a possibility?
I think there's a possibility to bring in any position all over the pitch. Without avoiding your question too blatantly, I think that obviously Harry's not in the building at the moment, which would lead anyone to believe that he's not signed for us, which is the truth. So whether it be Harry, another goalkeeper, any position, we're looking at injuries. Fingers crossed we don't get any more injuries tomorrow night. God forbid we did. We might have to start looking for other players to bring in. There's a list of players that are on the radar, but for the here and now, we have to focus on the game tomorrow, and anything after that in terms of recruitment probably have to deal with after Derby, because we're going to be in Sunday, in over the weekend, big Carabao Cup game at Derby, which everyone's looking forward to. So there is no sort of rest for the wicked. There's no time to really sit and ponder. There's time for action, but for the here and now, we've got to go with what we've got for Swindon, and we're very, very trustworthy of that group.
Massive event tomorrow night, isn't it? First match back in the Football League since 2018. The hierarchy were telling us on the show the other day, season ticket sales have gone up massively. The Walk Up's probably going to take it to 9,000 or 10,000 in tomorrow night. How much are you as a football staff looking forward to that event? We are.
I think it's probably the only game where you look forward to it as much, because the first one's back. It's like a bit like when we won the league. Now we're back in the league. Obviously more for the supporters, but yeah, I'm excited. The gaffer and all the staff are all excited. I know the board and the owners and everyone behind the scenes is excited. It's been a long time coming, but as soon as we turn up, it's work mode, because the last thing you want it to happen is the whole night fall flat. And we've seen that before with teams that build up, and before you know it, it could be 3-0 down after 10 minutes, and the whole thing goes from jubilation, excitement to flatness and frustration. So we have to stay professional and make sure that we turn up and show the same approach we did to 99% of the games last year, to try and get 3 points, which is what everyone wants, and hopefully that'll turn the pre-match excitement into post-match excitement.
Are you guys confident as a group? And that might sound like a daft question, but the kind of supplementary comment with that is a lot of people think Chesterfield are favourites.
Yeah, and that's great. I'd rather that tag than be favourites to go down. It's a much better pressure to have on you, thinking you should win every game than lose every week. So yeah, we're fine with that tag from certain people outside our football club. But yeah, I think it's one of them where you know that going into most games, a lot of games in League Two, we're still one of the biggest, well-supported clubs. But we're very realistic. We know that the level of opposition will go up. We know the level of infrastructure of stadiums we visit will go up. And I'm first to talk about the clubs, and I mean, with all due respect, the smaller National League clubs we went to and the long treks our supporters have to make. And we trade these bigger games every day of the week. So, yeah, no complaints from us in terms of the pressure from the outside world. We want to embrace that pressure, but be realistic to know that everyone, us staff, players, everyone's got up the game a little bit this year, because it's a much tougher level than the National League.
Well, yes, just finally then, there is an opponent at Swindon. Early, well, obviously couldn't be earlier though it is. What's your assessment of them?
Well, they'll be looking to improve on last season. I think they finished 19th. They flirted around the playoffs for large periods of the season, then drifted right away, had a few changes in managers. So I know there's a little bit of unrest with their supporters, I think, with ownership and that. But like I always say, I keep my nose out of that business. I don't know enough about it to comment on it. But yeah, they're a big club. Not many years ago, I remember them in the Premier League. Shows my age. And so, they'll be certainly, their supporters won't be turning up thinking, oh, we'll just have another season of mediocrity. They want to be there just like ours. So the test of the higher and better opposition starts tomorrow night. So bring it on.